So we are back with part two of trying to decide what is the most iconic scene from the 1990s.
Mhm.
Now, last week we took a look at 32 scenes, and we kind of got rid of half of them. We dwindled them down. We kind of paired them in four. Two moved on. Blah blah blah. For the most
Mhm.
part, we were in agreement on the majority of them. I know we had a discussion on a couple, but neither one of us were mad. There wasn't too much of a debate, maybe a discussion, but it was like, all right, it was pretty civil. It was great. But now we're into the next. We have 16. So before we get into the groupings, how did you feel last week went? How did you feel, all the discussion kind of dwindling down some of the iconic scenes throughout the 90s? Well, how do you feel we did?
I mean, I feel it's been pretty smooth. I don't think we've done anything outrageous or against the norm. I think we've kind of been going along what mainstream people think are the best scenes. I don't think there's been too much. I think looking at this list, things might get controversial.
I think we just need to jump into this because this
Yeah.
is going to get tough and tough as time goes on. So let's look at group number one.
Mhm.
And looking at our first grouping, we have, again, from Wayne's World, the Bohemian Rhapsody scene.
Mhm.
From Jerry Maguire, the Show Me the Money scene.
Mhm.
The Usual Suspects, the ending where he figures out who is Kaiser Sose. And then from Jurassic Park, the introduction of the T-Rex, which we talked about last time, the infamous, the little water ripples and stuff like that. So we got some heavy hitters. So, not that I want to start, but I'm going to throw something out there real quick and see how you feel about this.
Mhm.
Um, I'm really looking at this as a three scene race, and I just need to see if you agree with me because I'm just going to start right off the bat. I feel like Show Me the Money does not even belong with the other three. Now, tell me if I'm wrong.
Well, I kind of feel that The Usual Suspects does not belong with the other three. Well, here's why.
Go ahead. No, that's why we're doing this.
Here's what I'm thinking, right? Iconic scenes are if you've seen these if you see these scenes out of context, you know what movie they're from. Not everyone has seen The Usual Suspects. Not everyone knows what that ending is. So if out of context you see the Wayne's World scene, you know exactly what that's from: Bohemian Rhapsody, Jurassic Park, and maybe Jerry Maguire. But Usual Suspects, I feel like although it is an iconic ending to a movie, I do not feel that is an iconic scene because you can't see that out of context and really understand like the impact of that scene. Does that make sense?
I actually agree with you, and I'm going to carry that over to the reason why I think Jerry Maguire. Because
Hmm.
there's something we talked about last time, and I think we're going to have to take it more in effect now. And that's the fact that Jerry Maguire has not stood the test of time. Me and you see this, we see any of these scenes, we're like, oh, we know, we're happy,
Of course.
we like remember whether it's supposed to be scared, intense, and stuff like that. And I get your point. Usual Suspects is a very different suspense film, and just the reveal was big. It was just the end of everything that it was working towards, and it was an amazing scene. But you are correct. Um, so we talked about this T-Rex scene, and it's Steven Spielberg. It's great. It's intense, and it builds up just from the little things to just pure terror. And
Hmm.
Bohemian Rhapsody, even though it's just basically five guys in a car lip syncing the song,
Yeah.
everyone knows. And I said this last time: when that song comes on the radio, everyone, you might not go all out head banging, but you might be doing a small head bob. It's in your brain, and I'm sure
Hmm.
that future generations, because we've done this,
Yeah.
they kind of do it as well. So I'm in agreement with you in the fact that I think we both are going to agree which two should move on. I just felt like Jerry
Yes.
Maguire was honestly the odd man out because that was just mainly, kind of a line, a comedic moment, which, yeah, in the 90s, we all said it. We all knew it. Show me the money, Cuba Gooding Jr. Whereas I feel the scene as a whole with Usual Suspects was done a lot better and just was a better scene with Jerry Maguire, but compared to the other two, I have to go with Wayne's World and Jurassic Park.
Yeah. I mean, how many people probably a good example of this is the amount of people that have seen that scene in When Harry Met Sally versus the amount of people that have actually watched that movie is quite different. But everybody knows where that scene is from. And so that was my point with Usual Suspects, really, is that, I personally love it, but it doesn't. We're talking about now that we're in this level, and obviously it's going to get worse on the next level after this. Now it's like all time iconic, not just,
Right.
oh, I really like this. It's like, will this stand the test of time? So I think that's an excellent point.
No, and I agree. We have to put our personal beliefs aside, and that's hard for us to do. So all right.
True.
So
As
Bohemian
my wife
Rhapsody, Jurassic Park. Moving on to the next 8, the final 8, or
Mhm.
as they
Yeah.
would say in college, the elite 8.
Elite.
All right. So you know what? This is kind of a good start. I am sad to see Usual Suspects go, but I kind of expected it to go.
Yeah, and I wasn't expecting much from Jerry Maguire either. It's just that when I thought about Usual Suspects more, I was like, you can't show that to a regular Joe and have them know what that means.
Correct.
And it would spoil it.
It would. It would, especially if they haven't seen it. So, all right. Let's move on to our next grouping.
Mm-hmm.
So, group 2, we have The Matrix, Bullet Time, from A Few Good Men, the You Can't Handle the Truth, Blair Witch Project, basically the close-up crying. She's in the tent, and the ghost scene, basically the pottery making the vase, scene. We kind of had this discussion with Ghost last time. I felt like this scene was more iconic, but you brought up the point, has it stood the test of time? Which I can see. You're right. A lot of kids these days, younger people, do not know. They might recognize that scene's famous. They just might not know where it's from. But I just remember how iconic that was in the 90s. But now
It was.
this is tough because now I'm looking at all 4 of these scenes kind of overall. And I still feel in this group, there's a clear number 1.
Yes, I agree.
And I'm hoping we're both agreeing that is the Matrix Bullet Time.
Yes, by far. Absolutely.
It's been parodied. We've talked about it's been parodied. We don't need to go through it again and again. It was a great action movie. Just the special effects in this movie alone were great.
Revolutionary. Yeah.
But Soda, I'm looking at the other 3. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
This is tough because I feel like these scenes are iconic for different reasons. So I want you to take the stage and talk this out. What are your thoughts? Because I'm on the fence with a couple of them, and not on the fence. Like they're iconic scenes, but to me, which one to push through? So what are you thinking at the moment? Because we both agree Matrix is going through. It's got to be one of the, compared to everything else right here. It's got to be. But what are you thinking?
Like, do you think that Blair Witch stands the test of time?
Okay, well, I'm going to throw it back to you. Now, again, you can't put, if someone showed that You Can't Handle the Truth, would they know what movie that's from?
They recognize Jack Nicholson and Tom Cruise.
I see your point. Don't get me wrong. I see your point. It's just, The Few Good Men, you're right. It was just well acted. It's an iconic line as well. It just sums up everything that just happened in that trial. And we talked, Blair Witch was revolutionary in a way for its time because it was basically the creator of the found footage. And this scene was kind of everywhere with its marketing. And I'm still going to fight for Ghost a little bit. Like I
feel like I would put Ghost over Blair Witch.
But you wouldn't put either of those in front of You Can't Handle the Truth.
I mean, from a scene wise, because there's no words in the Ghost one, unless it's Unchained Melody, I guess. That's tough. See, to me, it is between A Few Good Men and Ghost. I kind of think I'm working it out right now in my mind. And the test of time. God, it is such an iconic court scene in a movie.
It is.
It's hard because I'm as old as I am, and I remember how much Ghost got parodied because it was a big deal. It was part of pop culture. I'm actually going to lean with Ghosts a little bit here.
Really? I just remember our conversation last week. That's what surprised me. But no.
Well, because it's iconic without saying any dialogue.
That's true.
And I think that's interesting. The Matrix, also iconic, without saying any dialogue. Jurassic Park, there's no dialogue in that scene. Like, I mean, there's people screaming, of course. Wayne's World is the only exception with Bohemian Rhapsody, but there's no dialogue really. It's just them singing along. So slight edge for me on Ghosts, and of course I'm open to change my mind, but just when I picture and I close my eyes and I picture like a montage of movies, I can see that one have a flash by and go like, oh, that's Ghost. I don't know. I lean towards Ghost. I know last week this is quite a change, but
No, but I agree with you because again, I feel and like I felt it last week. Like it's an iconic scene. You just see man and woman in the vase. You know the movie it's from, and you're right. I mean, I think all these movies now have been parodied in some form or another. You know what?
yeah.
Yeah, because then I go to what you said just in the last one. Just look at the image. You know, Blair Witch might be more niche because if it's a horror, and you're right. The only problem, not that problem. The only thing with You Can't Handle the Truth, it's a courtroom drama, and a lot of people don't even remember the name of the movie. Now, again,
Right.
you got to push our thoughts aside because we are movie people. People see ghosts, even they just know. The whole movie is him just basically trying to solve who killed him too. That's the weirdest part.
Yeah.
It's such a different kind of love. This scene, not that it's out of place, just stands out to everything else that happens in that movie. You know what? I think we both just talked ourselves into it. I think we need to go with Matrix and the Ghost. The Ghost.
Yeah.
Ghost.
Yeah, the Ghost.
The Ghost.
Again, this is a Patrick Swayze podcast. It's official now.
It is. He listens to us all the time. All right, so all right, they're moving on.
Hey.
I can't wait to see what the next 8's going to be like. But anyhow, we still have a few more to go. So let's take a look at Group 3, Soto. We got from Free Willy, basically, spoiler alert again, the end, when the whale jumps and he frees the whale.
He does Free Willy, yeah.
Yes. From Basic Instinct, the leg crossing scene, which kind of was the underdog. I just didn't expect it to get this far, but it is iconic. But also Pulp Fiction, Ezekiel 25:17, and then Home Alone, basically the aftershave, scene. It's his palms on his face and screams. I'm going to start with you this time. What are you thinking? Talk it out. Where are we at?
I'm going to go with Pulp Fiction being the number one for me. And it's the opposite of Ghost because, I just talked about how Ghost doesn't have any dialogue, but the dialogue is what makes that scene. The lead up and everything, the setup and everything, and Samuel Jackson's delivery and his performance. Plus his character and his costuming and the whole scene is iconic. It's been copied. It's been parodied. The color scheme is like its own thing. So to me, that's the clear number one. The other ones I'm going to have to discuss, but that's where I land when it comes to which one I think is the clear number one is Pulp Fiction in this group. And then, I kind of differ when it comes to Free Willy versus Basic Instinct. Both very different movies.
Yes, definitely different movies.
Both very different thematic films. One is family friendly, one is not so much. But yeah, that's my first pick.
You know what? I do agree with you. And personal, favorites aside, it is even before the dialogue, just them walking in, surveying everything. I think you mentioned it last time. Him just taking the burger, and there's just so many good scenes in this movie.
Oh my God.
Everyone knows
that whole scene is great. He's making eye contact with him as he's drinking his Sprite, and he drinks it all the way to the bottom until you hear it be done. He's like literally setting this up to be like, I'm going to murder you. Before I do, I'm gonna absolutely dominate this scene, and then it's like everything is kind of chill until it escalates dramatically, and this scene with Samuel Jackson is the climax of that escalation that was set up so fucking wonderfully.
All right, so I'm in agreement with you. I feel like that should go through. Now, iconic is the word I keep having to play.
What will you see in the reels at the Oscars when they say the movies we fell in love with?
Well, did we fall in love with the movie Basic Instinct? I don't know. All right,
Some
so
people did.
I'm going to talk this out, and I
Okay.
don't know if the decision will be made, but obviously it helps. So again, what stands the test of time,
Hmm.
and what has lasted longer? And unfortunately, with Basic Instinct, though everyone in the '90s knew it, everyone in our age group kind of knew the scene. I don't think that has stood the test of time compared to the other two. Free Willy was such an emotional moment. That was more of a scene because the boys running,
Hmm.
trying to obviously the whale jumping, everything. Michael Jackson, so, like there was
Yeah.
such an emotional moment to that where
Mhm.
that is a more of a complete scene compared to the other two that we're comparing here. The problem is it's the Home Alone. It's this face, and this face was everywhere in the '90s, and because this is constantly played
Yeah.
Christmas time, I feel like a lot more people know this scene. Even though this is a more of a smaller moment, is what I'm getting at. I feel that that is more iconic than the free. Even though that image again, the whale jumping over, was everywhere. That is an image.
It's the
It's
poster
the
of the
poster.
movie.
They gave away the end of the movie in the poster, which is the most hilarious thing. They tell you what they do in the movie. They're gonna do it. I mean, it is, and it is an iconic moment. And like I said,
I love that.
and that's the hard part because again, the whole scene was an emotional moment because he just wants Willie to go be with his family, and then that's where I'm at because it's just like what is more iconic, just the whole emotional moment in the scene, which we know the end result, or something that probably has stood the test of time a little bit more because I think a lot of people just knew that Macaulay Culkin face, they've mocked it, parodied it. So I don't know. I guess I'm just saying at the moment I am leaning more towards Home Alone because that picture alone has lasted.
Yeah.
But I am willing to listen to your thoughts because I could be persuaded for Free Willy because I can kind of see both. But right now I am pushing towards Home Alone after just talking that out.
I mean, certainly the Free Willy shot is a much more iconic shot to me. But yeah, Home Alone is huge when it comes to Kevin McAllister in his face. I'm not sure Free Willy has stood the test of time either. I know Free Willy. I've seen it once, by the way. Even though I know the scene. Uh, yeah, I could be convinced to go with Home Alone.
All right,
Yeah,
so we're doing Pulp Fiction and Home Alone. Is that what we're looking at right now?
yeah, it's quite different movies.
I thought this was going to be a lot harder. It probably will get harder
Well,
because
this fourth bracket is tough.
yeah. So I guess we should just get right into this. This is going to be all
Hard to
right.
delete
So
stuff
basically,
in
we
here.
have
Yeah.
Titanic. The I'm Flying. Jack and Rose at the front of the Titanic, spreading their arms.
Yep.
Scream, the opening scene, the killing of Drew Barrymore's character.
Hmm.
Forrest Gump, Life is like a box of chocolates, and The Sixth Sense. I see dead people.
Hmm.
My God, photo.
These are all iconic scenes. These are all very iconic scenes. These are some that should have replaced other ones that we picked before.
Yeah, but you know what?
Uh,
As I said before, this is all randomized. Even going into the next group, I just had ChatGPT pick random numbers because I didn't want us to be biased or favorites, just that way. No,
sure.
just the way it is. And yeah, this is the toughest grouping. What are your thoughts right now? Because I'm thinking it out in my head at the moment.
Well, yeah, I try to either go with the clear cut best or the worst, and then work my way through the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think Titanic has to be there. Um, it just is. Everybody knows Titanic. That, and I think it's the test of time too. Um, yeah, that to me is an iconic scene. Now, shit, Forrest Gump on that bench is iconic. That scream scene is iconic with Drew Barrymore, and then Haley Joel Osment saying, "I see dead people." Come on. Um, oh, that's tough, man. Because Sixth Sense is just one shot. Scream is a bunch of scenes together, set up. Um, although it's great overall sequence. I mean, because if you see Forrest Gump on that bench, you know it's Forrest Gump.
But
And you see Haley Joel Osment's face, you know he's gonna say, "I see dead people." You know it. Like, you know what I mean? I don't. That's hard to delete either Force or Sixth Sense out of there because one scene, you know the movie. One shot, one scene, you know the movie.
here's the thing. Yes, any of these scenes, you just show this picture. Even a lot of people nowadays will know either the line, the scene, the movie. I feel like Forrest Gump might be lower on the list because while everyone knows the line, now with The Sixth Sense, yes, there's the iconic line again. But what makes that scene maybe a little bit better is the fact that he's talking to Bruce Willis. There's always, why he sees dead people and stuff like that. There's more to it. And the fact that, spoiler alert, he's talking to a ghost. He's talking to someone that's dead, that doesn't know, which you don't realize after, which makes that scene even better. Scream is tough because Scream rewrote a lot. That opening scene is scary. But in my opinion, right now, I would have to say Titanic and The Sixth Sense. I felt like Sixth Sense is more of a scene than Forrest Gump, though Forrest Gump has a lot of good scenes in it. I don't know.
Well, it's one shot. It's like that sequence, the beginning of Scream. You can isolate. There's a potential that you can isolate a random scene from that, like a random shot, and people might not know what movie that is.
Correct.
But that Titanic scene, that's one shot. You know exactly what's going on there. Forrest Gump, you know exactly that's Forrest Gump. He's sitting on the bench with his box of chocolates. And then Sixth Sense. I lean towards Sixth Sense because it is just it's one shot. And yeah, if you don't go to the reverse shot with Bruce Willis, everyone knows when you see Haley Joel Osment's face, you know what he's going to say. You know what's going to happen at Titanic. They're going to be, whatever. But Scream is an iconic, it's a great opening of a movie. It's one of the best openings of all time. It's brilliantly done. It's Wes Craven, genius, masterpiece. But we're talking like the best iconic scenes. It's like one shot, you know what you're looking at. Sixth Sense and Forrest Gump are right there, and I could see the edge going to Sixth Sense. Funny because Haley Joel Osment's also in Forrest Gump as well. But yeah, Sixth Sense. The weight of that scene pretty much put M. Night Shyamalan on the map, and continues to be a huge pop culture phenomenon even now. I think people still love Forrest Gump, but I think on TikTok I still see people like, "Oh, I haven't seen The Sixth Sense. What happens here?" And they're like reactions to like finding out Bruce Willis is dead. Spoiler alert. So yeah, I'd go with Sixth Sense. So I'd go with Titanic and Sixth Sense, just from like the collective consciousness of humanity. I feel like Sixth Sense is just, it deserves to be there. So, and again, these are just our opinions, everyone. We're not experts on this. We're by no means do we say that we are film analysts by trade, but we're just regular people who used to work at a Blockbuster Video. Multiple Blockbuster Videos.
All right, Soto. So we just finished our 16. We are down to 8 scenes. Holy shit. That wasn't as bad. That wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. Not easy. Kind of sad, though, because we got rid of some of our scenes. But
we can always rewatch those movies. It's okay. They're not going away.
I know. Still can be hard. But Soto, here we go. From Wayne's World, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yep.
From Home Alone, basically the face, Macaulay Culkin's face.
Mm-hmm.
The Matrix, Bullet Time. And from The Sixth Sense, I See Dead People.
Okay. Yeah.
Based on how I felt from the last round, from us discussing, I feel like this is where Home Alone has to say goodbye.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Yeah. Oh, that leaves 3 hard ones, but I still feel strongly about my choices, though.
At the moment, I will tell you, I still feel like The Matrix should move on, dodging bullets.
Yes, I agree.
It's the other two I have a problem with right now. And so I need you to take over for a moment, talk it out, just so I can think it out. What are your thoughts? What's going on?
Funny, because Wayne's World is iconic, but nobody may remember it anymore, and Sixth Sense is iconic, and people still kind of do. This is hard, because this is like generational. I See Dead People versus Bohemian Rhapsody. I know which one I prefer, subjectively. Wayne's World like got me into Bohemian Rhapsody. I didn't even really know Bohemian Rhapsody until I saw that scene, and it's one of my favorite. I didn't really know who Queen was either. Um, I didn't listen to Queen. I mean, I know Queen was in Highlander, which is a movie that I saw a lot, but I didn't make the connection. But Wayne's World pretty much took Bohemian Rhapsody, put it on display, and was like, "This is why this song's awesome," and it convinced me. All-time greatest twists, all-time one of the all-time greatest shots, but Wayne's World is also a greatest shot too. And you'll know it without knowing what movie it's from because he literally has a hat that says Wayne's World on it. Wayne and Garth are themselves iconic. I'm going Wayne's World. I'm leaning Wayne's World. I'm making a big boy decision.
Wow.
I could very well be wrong, but I'm kind of I'm going with my gut. I don't know. I could be convinced otherwise, but that's how I feel right now.
I go back to iconic and how it has stood the test of time a little bit. And you're right. Most people won't know the majority of the movies we've talked about in this whole podcast. They won't. I mean, our age group, yes, but newer generations, no. But the hard part is, like, I get the Bohemian Rhapsody. We talked about its iconic scene. Now we just hear that song and we just know where the movie's from. It's almost like you said, the movie made the song popular again. It gave it, I think it just charted, when this movie came out. And then it's like, you're right. Is it the scene though, or is it the song? I'm making excuses right now, and I'm talking as I'm just talking. I know I'm going to do some mumble jumble here. I'm just trying to talk this out. Sixth Sense has the iconic line, probably the most iconic line that's left in our choices. And it is one of the greatest.
Good point.
And here's the thing. It's not the twist yet. He's just admitting, obviously, to what's happening. The twist is obviously at the end. But knowing what happens at the end makes the scene even better, and you almost need a second watch just to appreciate it even more. Bruce Willis doesn't say a thing, and that is big. Only because to give this kid this scene, Haley Joel Osment, this scene, for what I think might, his first real major role. I know he was in Forrest Gump and a couple other things, but this is his first major role that I could think of.
Oh yeah. It's an iconic role for Haley Joel Osment.
It's an iconic role. It's an iconic line. And it's what sets the tone for the second half of the movie. Even though we as an audience kind of knew what was happening, sometimes the admittance of everything going on and just kind of just put Bruce Willis in his place a little bit. Like, okay, there's something more serious going on than what I can maybe deal with. With Bohemian Rhapsody, everyone, they just know. They just know the song. They know what to do.
They know what to do. Even you know when to headbang.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what part of the song, like, you got to start banging your head to, like, and
here's the thing. Okay. Here's the thing. I am now going to finalize this because, and I think you're going to be in agreement just based on what you said. So here's the thing. If they were to re-put these movies into theaters, okay, just think, don't go back in the 90s now, and they play The Sixth Sense. It's going to be, mocked, everyone, but it's not going to, give people chills again. If you put Wayne's World in a theater, every fucking seat, if you're in the back, that's all you're going to see. That's unity. Queen is unity. You know what? Because I'm with you. It's tough. I'm sorry, Sixth Sense. I'm sorry, Haley Joel Osment. What Wayne's World has done for pop culture. This might be the biggest pop culture scene we have. So this is going to be a difficult Final Four. I'm with you. I think I got to do Wayne's World. Wayne's World and The Matrix. Are we in agreement with this? Is this what we're doing?
Yes. Yeah, I think we are.
All right. Oh, okay. Okay. That it was tough. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sixth Sense fans. People who are kind of rooting for it. I'm sorry. But if you really think about it, yeah, that definitely, they all stand the test of time. All right. So to the second grouping. Holy shit.
Yeah.
All right. So again, from Jurassic Park, the T-Rex scene, from Ghosts, the pottery scene, Pulp Fiction, Ezekiel 25:17, and the Titanic, the front of the Titanic scene. I know we just kind of did. Oh my God. I don't know where to start, Soto. I don't know where to start. Because it's just.
Well, we can probably agree that Ghost is not going to make it.
as iconic as it is, yeah, compared to these other three, because here's the way I'm looking at Soto. Almost a tale of two different movies. First of all, you have Jurassic Park and Pulp Fiction, which we kind of talked about. It's not just one shot; it's a culmination of the entire scene, the intensity for different reasons.
Mhm.
With Ghost and
Yeah.
Titanic, it's that image. It's the image of Jack and Rose on the Titanic, and obviously, I don't know the character's name, Swayze and Demi Moore, just making the pottery. You're like, you just can show that image and they know. And to me, Titanic is definitely more iconic than Ghost,
Mhm.
though Ghost is very iconic. But Soto, I'm going to put something out there. I almost feel like Titanic needs to be one of the four to move on. But this is now a discussion because it's very hard with the other two. Basically, now, what are you thinking between Jurassic Park and Pulp Fiction?
Jurassic Park. You know, I love I really do love that scene in Pulp Fiction. I do, but I mean, Jurassic Park, that is pure fucking cinema right there, as the kids say. Um, I remember what it was like. You hadn't really seen the dinosaurs yet, and
Mm-hmm.
everything had been kind of leading up to it in that part of the movie, and you just were like, I mean, you saw like some of it, but you just didn't know how T Rex how that thing was gonna go, and like just we said it before where we talked about T-Rex, the masterful way that Spielberg sets up the tension in the scene, uh, is just that is like as cinematic as it gets. Um, from the water steps of the incoming T Rex, to the kids like stuck in the mud, to seeing the T Rex finally come out, the horror, everything like that, like the way it is just awesome in a different way that if Pulp Fiction does it. If Pulp Fiction, which again we talked about, has great setup too, and I think is a great dialogue and everything like that. It's just that I that's a Jurassic Park. I'm not saying Pulp Fiction's not, but Jurassic Park is like iconic cinematic, like movie making shit.
It
Like
is.
that's movie magic stuff. That's like what I grew up on, and I'm not trying to be. I really am not. I do love Steven Spielberg. I do, and I respect everything Steven Spielberg has done, of course. But I grew up with Steven Spielberg movies, and that's what cinema is to me. Jaws, Indiana Jones, E.T., Close Encounters, um, all that stuff. He just and this was you didn't know how the dinosaurs were going to be put on screen. You didn't know how the T Rex was going to sound. And as soon as you heard it, as soon as you saw it, you knew that all the right choices had been made. Special effects by Industrial Light and Magic at the time was revolutionary. Just there was nothing else like it. And again, you can have a movie that has great CG and all that stuff. There's plenty of movies like that, but just the way that you tell a story and the way that you let that story unfold and the way that you play with tension in the cinematic medium, I just think Jurassic Park hits all those notes. Um, and I'm not saying anything against Pulp Fiction. Obviously, it's my favorite movie of all time. But when I think of iconic, I think of Jurassic Park. That's my argument for Jurassic Park.
I'm kind of agreeing with you because, again, Pulp Fiction's the kind of movie. I mean, not that Jurassic Park isn't, but Pulp Fiction has a lot of iconic moments. Um,
Of course.
and I think, like I said, Pulp Fiction, it's the iconic, even though a lot has happened, it's the line, the Ezekiel 25:17 at the end. While that whole scene
Mhm.
slowly builds tension, he delivers that line. A lot of us who watched it can probably cite it word for word. And whereas you said, Jurassic Park did not need to say a thing.
No.
Up until just towards the end, when depending on how long we talk about the scene, when Jeff Goldblum is trying to get the dinosaur away, and Sam Neill's character is just like, stop, don't move. That was the first thing. But again, from the water ripples, just the smallest things, the thump, the goat that was
Go
chained,
in there, and then all of a sudden you cut back to it, and it's gone.
gone.
And then like the wires of the fence like breaking, and you don't know what's there. I mean, dude, I'm getting like goosebumps just thinking about it.
I
Like
gotta
that's
watch that
like
again.
that is fucking cinema, man. Like that is just like it you allow the audience to be part of the scene because we instinctively watching movies will start to fill in the blanks with our own stuff, and it's like incredibly like engaging when a movie is like that, because you're part of what's going on. Like, you are those kids, like, oh my god, the Jeep gets turned around, like they're screaming, like everything is just done so fucking well in that scene, and just the way, and then like the leg hits the fucking windshield. I mean, so many amazing directorial choices done by Spielberg there, that it's hard to really, it's hard to go against it. It really is. And yeah, to your point, if you haven't seen Jurassic Park, give it a rewatch, because it is. I rewatched it recently, and it holds up.
So Soto, here we are. The final 4 scenes. So
Yes.
now I will introduce these one last time, and we're gonna
Mhm.
rank them. We will probably have to start 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. So we're gonna officially rank these 4, and at the end of this, the most iconic 1990s movie scene. So for one last time, these are our final 4, Soto.
Yes.
Wayne's
Mhm.
World, Bohemian Rhapsody,
Mhm.
The Matrix, Dodging Bullets, Jurassic Park, the introduction of the T-Rex, and Titanic, Jack and Rose in front of the Titanic. The I Can Fly.
Yeah. Mhm.
So the first thing I noticed, just before I even talk about the scenes, just more for hilarious reasons, 3 of these movies have great special effects. And one is a comedy. That's just... All right, but I'm going to throw something out there real quick.
Okay. Hit me.
Because again, I think we almost have to work from the bottom up. And I'm kind of looking at these. This might be controversial, Soto. At the moment, I almost feel like Titanic's 4th.
Wow.
I'll be honest. Yeah. But everything that happens before and after, I think this is a case of it's more of an image that, just than like the scene. Everything else goes on a little longer. That's where I'm at right now. I'm just feeling Titanic
Yeah.
4th. And that's not an easy feat for me to say.
It's a tough list.
It is.
I'd have to say that probably the one that hasn't stood the test of time out of all 4 of these is Wayne's World. I'm not saying that that's bad. This is the fucking final 4,
Yeah,
but
man. You did it. Good
it's
job.
like that to me, like, I'd probably put Wayne's World 4 and Titanic 3, but I can see it the other way. I think the real heavyweight championship is between Bullet
Which
Time
would
and Jurassic Park.
All right, because again, let's choose 4th and 3rd. I see a point, because again, everyone knows that image. I think Titanic has stood the test of time. I mean, that image. I'm fine. I'll be honest, I'm fine either way. Because like I said, to me, it was the bottom 2. I was just...
I think they're interchangeable personally. Like, I can see both. I prefer Wayne's World, from just from my own nostalgic standpoint, and I want to see Wayne's World. I don't even know if it's streaming available anywhere right now. I should probably just buy it. Because why wouldn't I buy Wayne's World? And I did see Titanic in theaters. Titanic it is what it is. Titanic was huge, man. That's a $1 billion movie. When movies didn't make $1 billion. In 1997, movies didn't make $1 billion. Like Titanic did. James Cameron, he was able to take all that money and turn it into a franchise called Avatar that I really have no interest in. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I could go 3, 4. I think that ultimately we got to discuss
the top 2. All right, so right now, let's just
The
say,
Matrix
are you
versus
fine with
Jurassic
Wayne's World
Park.
being 3? Because again, the only reason I think Bohemian Rhapsody lasted is because again, we all interact. We all do it a certain way. We all headbang at that part, and that shows that. I know it's the song has stood the test of time, but Wayne's World revived it.
Yes.
So I am fine with because Titanic 4, Wayne's World 3. Is that okay? All right, Soto. Let's take a look at the top 2.
Yeah.
I think we kind of knew. I mean, I think we both knew that these 2 would make the final 4. And we also felt like these were the heavy hitters going through this whole process. But here we go again with the word. What is the most iconic scene?
Yeah.
I mean, they're both iconic for different reasons. But as it pains me to say this or to start the debate this way, the Matrix, because of the image, you just see that scene. Everyone instantly, like, it's It's that moment.
Hard to argue. It's hard to argue against it.
You're right.
And it was a revolutionary moment. It really was. It changed everything. That moment did. In the movie and in movies in general. I think that Jurassic Park is a better movie. Again, we go back to the whole one shot thing, right? And the Matrix, that scene that's one shot. It's a shot that turns around and does things you never thought would happen in a shot, but it is one shot. Out of context, you know exactly where this is from.
Yeah, that whole rooftop battle. Not just this scene, but just even, everything else that was happening. All right, so are we looking at The Matrix #1 and Jurassic Park 2? Is that, I feel like Neo dodging bullets, it was revolutionary. It was jaw dropping. And it was jaw dropping. Not, you know what though? Jurassic Park was jaw dropping. Was.
I mean, Jurassic Park, like we gave Jurassic Park its flowers in the last round. But I think we're ready to announce that The Matrix, starring Keanu Reeves, Bullet Time, is the most iconic scene of the 90s.
I can't disagree. I can't. I think even going into this, like I said, I knew it should be in the final four. I can't disagree with you. All right. It gets the gold medal. Here you go. Congratulations, Settle. We just named the most iconic 1990s movie scene, and that is Bullet Time from The Matrix. But well played for the. Yes. You know what? I am surprised, though. I will admit, thinking, when we started this, I never thought Wayne's World would make the final four. Because as we talked it out, though, we just realized how iconic that moment was. So, you know what? I'm going to give it a good round of applause for Wayne's World there.
Yes, a little golf clap. Yep.
Yeah, definitely a golf clap. Oh, you're right. But yeah, I can't, even going in, it was going to be hard to beat the dodging bullet scene. But yeah, these are some, we talked about some iconic scenes. So we did it.
It was good. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. I mean, there were some definitely things. It's hard separating your personal, sort of feelings versus like, what is objectively kind of, thought that way. And I'm sure that there are people that would absolutely disagree with us on all of these, and that's fine. But I know there's a lot of people that would agree that The Matrix, it's pretty tough to say there's a better shot or a better iconic scene than that.
But, let us know. Let us know what you thought should have won. Let us know if we were wrong about Bullet Time. Obviously put in the comments.
Please.
Blah, blah, blah.
If we're wrong, tell us.
Yeah,
engage.
We'll listen. I mean, we might say you're wrong, but we'll listen.
Correct.